Hello and welcome to another episode of Same But Different, the movie talk show where it's like a book club, but we do movies and we have no consistency because once again, we are in a different location. So this week we're coming at you to review the new movie, The Substance, starring Demi Moore, Margaret Qualley, and sort of starring Dennis Quaid.
Yeah.
The Substance stars Demi Moore, who is an aging, kind of washed up actress who used to be a big celebrity and is no longer a celebrity, struggling with her aging, finds out there's a drug you can take, which basically allows you to birth clone a younger, sexier version of yourself, in which she decides to do, and henceforth antics ensue. This movie's a big deal, and I figured we had to talk about it. I'm really excited to hear what you thought.
Okay.
So why don't you tell me that?
Okay, cool. The Substance. Whatever you thought about the movie after watching the trailer, it's unexpected. It's not that. It is a little bit, but like it just goes off the rails into something completely different.
I didn't even watch the trailer, so I went into this movie super blind.
I was talking to my friend the other day, and he also said that, and I'm kind of jealous. The movie does a very good job at making you feel uncomfortable regardless.
Oh!
It's a movie that pushes you out of your comfort zone and makes you a little squeamish. I only heard that it was disgusting and gory and it was going to get under your skin. Fine. Sure. But I did not expect the level it was going to do that. First of all, I just want to say my rating, 9 out of 10.
Woo!
Yeah.
Okay.
9 out of 10, almost a perfect 10. If I'm being honest with myself, right out of the theater, I probably gave it a 10 out of 10. This movie is obviously not for everyone.
You can say that thrice.
In fact, you know what? I would say that it's not for most people.
I argue unless you're a cinephile, unless you are a big movie buff, it's not for you.
I would argue unless you like Cronenberg, it's not for you. And I'm not a huge Cronenberg fan. In my opinion, Cronenberg does shock value for the sake of shock value. This movie did shock value and gore and grotesque things, but also had like a really unique, really poignant story behind it.
Yarp.
And the concept was crazy. I've never seen, and this is one of the reasons why it ranks so high for me, is that it's an original idea.
It was like a longer, darker, grosser Black Mirror episode.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are comparing it to The Picture of Dorian Gray.
Ah.
Its execution is beyond unique, beyond imagination. The people that made this up, what the fuck? It's original, like this guy over here with his mask. And it's a reality that's all too familiar, especially for women.
Yeah.
You know, getting old, and especially if you're in the limelight, getting old and what society thinks about women and how they just kind of toss them aside as they get older. It's a sad, sad reality that society puts women through. But this movie not only touches upon it, but it hits you over the fucking head. With
it keeps enforcing it more and more so. There's no, it's okay, ladies. No, it's not.
No,
it's not.
But they do it in a very good way.
Oh yeah.
I didn't feel like I was being preached to or anything like that. It's just like, I think it's just something that needs to be talked about, and through a medium like this that's so fucking bonkers, I accepted it. I was like, yeah, give this all to me. This is great.
Yeah.
The passion that went into creating this film, you can't deny it. You can't deny it. There's no way that someone made this film and just kind of sat back and was like, action, you know, like passion needed to be in this film. There's no way there wasn't. So that's why it ranks high on my list too. The acting was pretty good. I think the acting was strange sometimes, but the story wanted for it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or the type of movie that it was allowed that to be okay.
I agree. If the acting was weird, it almost justified it 10 seconds later.
Yes.
I noticed there was a scene later where she arrived and the guy opened the door and he's like, "At last, we've been waiting for you." And I'm like, this is so weird. But then it's because in the next scene, "At Last" is the song that plays.
Yes.
And it was all on purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I also noticed that specifically the men in the movie were told to act not well or weird.
Yeah.
Because honestly, the bad guy in this film were men.
Yeah. Men suck.
And the society ruled by men. So whenever a man was on screen and the dialogue he delivered, he was always very like overacting or weird, or the camera was in his face.
Yeah.
Wide angle.
Visually and not visually, they were made to be so unattractive.
Yes.
And that was the point.
Yes, 100%. And let's talk about the visuals for a second. Beautiful.
Woo! 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 Woo!
Beautiful. The camera work, the lenses they used, the composition and the colors. Dude, the opening scene where she goes into walks down the hallway and into the bathroom is The Shining.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The carpet, it's not exactly The Shining, but it's The Shining. And then she goes into a bathroom that's red and white like The Shining. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
As an extension to the visuals, the practical effects. Yeah. Holy hell.
Yeah.
This movie pops the fuck off. And without spoiling anything, I can't talk about it justifiably without spoiling it. But oh my God, the practical effects at the end of this movie.
It's hard to say. You could never ever guess where this movie was going to end up.
Nope.
Never.
Nope.
In your wildest dreams.
Which is funny because that's actually one of like my points that brought it down from that perfect 10.
Oh.
Because up until obviously the ending, every story beat that it hit, I was talking about original, unique story idea, and the concept is unique, but the story beats are very predictable. Like, that creating a younger version of yourself, you just know what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
Predictability on a minor scale for me, that's what brought it down from a 10. There are a lot of things in the movie that you just kind of have to accept. Having a whole nother human being crawl out of your back. Like, where did your spine and your organs go?
Well, I think it grew. You didn't see it come out, right? So I imagine it grew until it came out and kind of expanded more, like the little dinosaurs you put in your sink to grow out of the shell.
No, but you got shots of like her back opening up and like this thing coming out of it, right?
Yeah.
So like, where's your spine? Where are all the bones and the ribs and stuff? And then she's an empty husk after she's out. Like,
Yeah.
So you kind of have to just accept that, like, mitosis is happening.
The powerhouse of the cell.
No.
Drugs are crazy, man.
Drugs are crazy. Drugs are crazy.
How you feeling, man? I'm pretty lucky.
The absolute superhuman strength that these people get by the end of the movie.
That was something, yeah. And I just chalked it up to that's what happens with the drug eventually, or especially in that very circumstantial thing that happened to her. Maybe something there shifted her atoms. Or something.
But it was also inconsistent. So, treading on spoilers here, not going to actually tell specifics, but there's one point where I'm not going to say who or whatever, but she kicks somebody and they fly across the room.
I mean, it's in the trailer. That's literally in the trailer.
Oh, okay. But then proceeds to kick them while they're on the floor and they're not going anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
This is weakening it.
For all intents and purposes, that person should have been flying out the window, right? And then not only that, the person that was being kicked earlier grabs a person and just with one hand drags her across the apartment, and no way in that state she should have been able to do that. At that point, the movie's popping off. So pop off. And then the scene with the buckets and buckets and buckets of blood. I mean, Quentin Tarantino had limbs cut off in Kill Bill, and they squirted out a little bit.
Yeah.
And then stopped, and then, this was a fire hose. So again, the movie's popping off, do your thing. And maybe some of it was supposed to be metaphorical. I don't know.
All right. Yeah. So this was my favorite movie of 2024.
Yes.
I loved this movie. I gave it a 10 out of 10. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Why not?
It's a Wonderful Life. Perfect.
Same plot. Yeah. Yeah, it was a perfect movie in my opinion. It really was. I've never seen G.I. Jane, so that's the only thing I can think of as an example for Demi Moore being an incredible actor. Holy shit.
Yeah, she's great.
I had no idea.
Few Good Men.
Okay.
Ghost.
Oh, yeah. Hunchback of Notre Dame.
There you go.
I had no idea she was an amazing actor. She blew me away. When she was like starting to get to the point of not wanting to leave her apartment or whatever, I wanted to cry. I didn't cry, and this movie's not going to make you cry. But like,
Nobody can prove or disprove that because he was alone in the theater.
I felt so bad for her. It did such a good job making you feel, I think it was straight up sympathy, not even empathy, because we're all aging. We've all probably felt that to some degree. We just haven't felt it yet as a 60-year-old woman. She looks great, especially as the movie goes on. Personally, yes, this movie was fucked up and it did make me squirm but it never got too bad. I've watched movies that were hard for me to watch. This one never made me want to turn away or like, I was okay with it.
I'm not a big fan of needles. So
I know you're not.
covered
There was that one. Oh,
Yeah, I covered. Yeah,
that one scene.
Yeah, I covered my eyes a little bit at the needle stuff, but you're right. There's a lot more out there that has disturbed me. I think because this movie just feels like such a fun house bonkers kind of movie that it's not disturbing per se. It's just fun.
Yeah. Every scene mattered. It kept evolving. It kept getting better. And then it kind of ended and then gave you like a 20-minute short film almost. And it was like a horror comedy. It was like Sam Raimi from this movie.
Oh.
The end. No, I'm pointing at your hat.
Oh. What?
It was funny.
Yeah,
This
it
movie
was
funny. It was a very, very funny movie, and it wanted to be at the end, I think. It did a very good job delivering the moral and the message it wanted to, and then it's like, let's have some fun. And it did.
Yeah. Oh my
And that last title card that comes up, again, without spoiling anything, but once that final thing happens and the title card comes up and it's green.
Yes.
You remember the words?
Yes.
I laughed out loud.
Oh man.
Like the movie's tone completely shifted. It's like these people have suffered enough. Here you go. And I loved it. Dennis Quaid did a great job with what he did great. Margaret Qualley did a great job. I've not seen her in too much.
She was good.
She's good.
She's good.
She's good.
She's good.
She's good.
She didn't speak much in this one.
Well, she didn't have to. Her body spoke.
Oh God. Pump it up.
Yeah. Obviously, a movie like this had a lot of nudity, but it never felt, even though it was supposed to be sexualized, it never felt like icky.
No, that's true. I was telling one of our friends that because they were worried that there was going to be like a deviant sexual stuff in it. Never like
The one time the movie got kind of close to a sex scene, there wasn't anything. None of that nudity was present.
Right.
It was only when it was about the body and about the aging, and it did it really well.
Yeah, Victoria described it as medical nudity.
Sure.
Basically.
Yeah. And then funny nudity later. Realistically.
No. I just remembered. We were like, why?
Because it's funny.
Oh my God. What? Who thought of that?
I have two, and they're so small. Two gripes. They didn't take away from the 10 out of 10 because they're so small. One is in the splicing process, it kept doing this like art housey collage fire on the screen, the DNA stuff. I'm like, what is this?
True. What was that?
I didn't like it. I don't think we needed those scenes at all. And the only other one, and this one is just so much blunt force trauma, and everything was fine. The amount of times someone falls and smacks their head off of a concrete or ceramic floor, and they're just like, oh, everything's fine. Falling over and smacking your head on the ground literally could kill you.
Yeah.
And it never was a problem.
Well,
and it happens so many times.
I think that feeds into the superhuman strength and stuff like that.
Maybe.
But
From the opening shot to the end of this movie, I was on board. I loved every second of it.
yeah, I was enthralled.
I loved it.
10 out of 10.
I think this was a perfect movie. Yeah.
We should do our top 10 movies.
Top 10 out of 10s.
Yeah.
10 Hut. 10-4 is what I meant to say.
10 Hut works.
Is that also okay?
Yeah. Chip Hazard says that in my 10 out of 10 movie, Small Soldiers.
Well, that's everybody's 10 out of 10 movie. Have you seen The Substance? We did our best to stay away from spoilers. We spoiled maybe the experience. We didn't spoil the movie. Like if you didn't know anything about the trailer, we definitely told you what to expect. Oh well. Go see it if it sounded good.
Even still, I think it's going to blow you away.
It was so much new stuff I've never seen before.
Yep.
Have you seen it? Did you like it? Let us know in the comments below. While you're down there, leave another comment. Tell us how good we look in our matching white and red shirts. Follow, subscribe, share. What are the other ones?
Like
It.
Like the video too. Oh, next week.
Yeah.
What are we doing for next week?
I just watched Blink twice.
Oh, okay. I can watch that.
I was going to talk to you about it, but now I can't.
Just wait.
I hate this show. Come on back next week. We are going to review the newer movie Blink Twice, starring Channing Tatum. Haley Joel Osment's in it.
Whoa. I just got so excited for this movie.
Christian Slater? Alone in the Dark?
What?
He's in it too.
Alone in the Dark is your Christian Slater movie. Not Heathers, Broken Arrow, Robin Hood. Alone in the Dark. You're going to go with that? Okay.
We love you. Thanks for coming by. We're going to go watch The Mummy.
Yeah, so excited. And we'll be probably in a different space next week.
Yeah. Keep watching movies. It kept doing this like art housey collage, fire on the screen, the DNA stuff. I'm like, what is this?